Guys, okay, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we're gonna be treating the first. This is our first YouTube video. Yes, let me remind you, it's our first YouTube video, and we teach about animals, pests, and so today we're gonna be treating 6 weird animal science discoveries. This thing looks so weird to me, even from the pictures. Yeah, I can imagine what it will be like. People looking from it. Yeah. So we're gonna be jumping into the first one. So the first one is number one, the exploding toes in Germany. Here, while toes often inflate themselves to appear bigger to predators, they don't often outrightly explode, except in April 2005 in Hamburg, Germany, when thousands of frogs blew apart over a period of few days, sometimes throwing little toes past a meter around. The Frank Mussmann, a veterinarian from Berlin, came up with a theory for the toes, apparently spontaneous explosions. A flock of crows had recently taken up residence in parts of Hamburg, and they had developed a taste for toad liver. The crows would swoop down, thrust their beaks inside the toes, and steal their livers before the toes even know what had happened. The toes would instinctively puff themselves up to scare the crows away, but with the holes the crows left in their skin, the pressure would push their insides to the outside, busting the toad into pieces. Hey, that looks so weird. Yes, please, as you continue, please consider subscribing. It may not be necessary for you, but it matters for us. Yeah, thank you. So we're gonna be entering into the second one. So the second one is globsters. Yeah, globsters. All over the world, huge lumps of unknown animal or whatever, they do appear non-flesh and advanced flesh known as globsters wash up on shore. Often they look like animals completely unknown to science. They can weigh up to several tons and have been spotted on beaches everywhere throughout the last century. So, what are they? Often they are initially believed to be giant squids and other rare or non-resistant marine animals, but scientists have found that the explanation isn't quite that amazing. Yeah, so far every globster discovered has been definitely identified before it washes back to the sea or is tampered with in some way as the remains of an ordinary creature, usually a whale. For example, a globster found in Chile in 2003 was discovered to be the skin of a sperm whale. Since dead animals in the ocean simply drift, anything left over from the predators and natural decay can get caught in a strong tide and wash up on dry land, and to gross us all out. So the third one, Mike the headless chicken. In 1945, farmer Lloyd Olson took one of his many chickens to the chopping block to prepare dinner for his family. After decapitating the chicken, something strange happened. You know what? The chicken didn't die. The headless chicken, which the family had later named Mike, continued to wander around the farm and steadfastly refused to be turned into Olsons, so perhaps he would want to. The Olsons discovered that they could still feed and water Mike by way of eyedropper inserted into his neck hole. After that, they took the chicken on the road, showing him off as Mike the headless chicken. What magic kept Mike alive? Sheer luck, as it happens. Scientists at the University of Utah who examined Mike found out Olson barely missed Mike's brainstem, which allowed him to continue walking and moving even after his decapitation. Unfortunately, Mike died when his family lost his eyedropper, and we were unable to help him when he began to choke on a kernel of corn. So number 4, thousands of iceless fish wash up on the same beach. A few years back, the news was rife with stories about mass animals' death, especially ones involving fishes, bears. Almost all had completely normal explanations, but a few ended up going more or less unexplained. On the Coromandel Peninsula in New Zealand, thousands of dead snapper washed up overnight in early 2011, many of them with no eyes. Although wildlife authorities looked into the event, no official explanation was ever announced. An early statement indicated that it may have been deliberate. Almost 2 years later to the day, the same thing happened again at the same beach. Thousands of snapper popped up with strange wounds on their bodies. These times, officials concluded that it was most likely a broken net being hauled by an illegal fishing boat, though they didn't say how or if it was connected to the previous deaths. Number 5. The Malaguetera Beasts. In 2003, villagers in the Dowa district of Malawi fled in fear of creature dubbed the terror beast, an unidentified animal that killed 3 and injured 16. The creature badly maimed its victim, tearing off limbs and disemboweling the dead. Since most animals only attack out of self-defense or to feed, this appeared to be extremely unusual behavior. The villagers described it as some variety of large dog or small. That one was killed by authorities and found to be a rabid hyena. But survivors of that first attack alleged the creature was too large to have really been a hyena, and that the animal killed was not the one which attacked them. Meanwhile, the terror beast which may also be a rabid hyena, was never found. I think that's good. That's good to hear. And the final one, the Florida's Concave. In 2000, the residents of Florida, Campbell, began seeing a large ape-like creature and finding dead cats throughout their neighborhood. Some believed it might be a legendary Bigfoot creature known as the skunk ape. Things got especially weird when an anonymous woman sent 2 pictures of the creature to the police. Lauren Coleman, a cryptozoologist, became interested in the case and began to archive newspaper reports as well as copies of the letter and photographs sent by the anonymous woman. The skunk ape eventually disappeared, and the photographs were never positively identified. Coleman has a pretty good explanation sitting in plain view on his site, although he and the cryptozoology community don't buy it. In a comparison image created by a Canadian midwife service biologist named Shumn, the skunk ape is compared with an ordinary orangutan. As for how an orangutan got loose in Cabe County, that's as much as a mystery. So that's it, guys. Please consider hitting the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. It matters a lot to us. Thank you. That's it.